Hello, and welcome back to another Symphogear XDU guide. My name is Bisa, and today we will be talking about good old raid battles down here. Now I do want to preface by saying this, that I'm actually going into this off script again. So please be patient, I guess. I'm recording this last minute, so I don't really have the time to write up a script right now. Yeah, so anyways, raids. First and foremost, you unlock these once you limit break your first Symphogear card. And these are pretty much the only thing that raids are really good for is for farming the materials that are required to limit unlock or rarity break your Symphogear cards. That alone, if you look at the reward details, should already explain it fairly well, but I'll go into a little bit more context. So first and foremost, you have the practice raid. This drops smaller stuff for pretty much every level, or every type of Symphogear, depending on what reward you get. Now, that's the first thing I should go over, the reward levels. First, or the reward types. First, there's challenge. This is rewarded when a raid is completed to the person who originally initiated it. Participation, everyone gets a participation reward. Hunt is the reward for the player who in the end defeated the boss. Highest damage goes to the top 3 damage dealers, and contribution goes to the top, I think, or the people that dealt 3%, 5%, and 10% damage respectively, I believe. So, if you look here, every raid has its own drop table that generally coincides with its type. So, for example, here we have a power raid, and this guy drops power gems or power crystals of varying levels up to the mega crystals in both melody crystals and type crystals. Whereas the hard raid, this is the next difference, the hard raid can drop all 3 main crystals at all 3 rarity levels, which is why they're generally the ones you will want to farm the most. Once you're ready to do so, of course. They cost more to initiate, but that's something we'll get into later. So first and foremost, there's one raid for every type. So first and foremost, you have the practice raid, which again drops some of everything except for rage crystals, I believe. Then you have the power raid, which is mainly for power mats, dexterity, intel, body, heart, tech, and rage. You have a rage raid as well, which, there we go, those had to load in for a second here. These will drop the raid crystals. Now, then you also have the miracle raids and magic raids down here. These are for getting these right here, miracle and magic crystals. These are required to upgrade your 5-star cards into 6-star cards. So these are fairly hard raids. I haven't tried one myself yet. I believe they're multi-staged, because not only are there enemies of the type that's shown here, there's multiple enemies. So either it's multiple bosses, or yeah, you can see here it has dexterity type and heart type enemies. And you can also see in the rewards, that's the stuff you'll get. So that's already it for this main menu here. You can, as with Advent battles, if you haven't seen that guide, by the way, it should be up in the right corner somewhere. These also have strategy guides similar to Awake or to Chaos Beasts. Every one of these, I don't think they change over time. Might be wrong on that, but again, just check there every now and then. These will give you hints on how these bosses work. Now, there's one thing I want to point out, and that is that if you played a raid within the first few days of the game released, it's likely that you found it fairly easy. I myself have personally been able to solo raids at that time. That was a bug. That was the same bug that also ended up making some raids lock up for people, where the game would simply lock up randomly mid-raid. That's because bosses are meant to have special attacks. Those weren't programmed in, so whenever a boss tried to use one, the game had a chance of locking up, and it also it was way too easy. Raids ended up being way too easy. So I was able to, for example, completely solo a normal intelligence raid. If you look at my results right now, I barely made 100k damage on one that I tried after the patch. So, anyways, now if you look in the party menu, you will see that this is a 6-member setup. You have a main party and you have a sub party. The main party is gonna be your main party, while the sub party is the members that will switch in should a main member fall in battle. Now, as for party building, I would suggest, of course, going for type advantages, and I'd say, sure, you can use AoE damage dealers as well. There's some very strong ones in there, such as Ignite Hibiki, but I'd recommend trying to stay with single target attackers, because AoE skills tend to have a longer cooldown. You need to deal as much damage as you can while your team is standing. So, I mean, I only have one single target damage dealer in my main party right now, so not the best example right here for my. I think this is the practice raid, but try to go for single target damage dealers because they have lower cooldowns on their main attacks, on their skills. So that's the main thing. Again, also try to compensate for the strategy guide. For example, here, this fucker can inflict paralysis, so it can stun you. It sucks. And it can buff itself in all kinds of ways. I tried the dexterity raid. It's really fucking hard. Even though I actually did better there than the humanoid, or the intelligence raid. Huh. Anyways. Now the next thing is aid requests. Whenever you initiate a raid, you can ask people for help after your party is wiped. By asking for help, you can either select your friends and followers or everyone. By asking friends and followers, only they will get your raid in their aid request list. If you select everyone, everyone has a chance of getting your raid in the aid request list, and everyone will be able to participate. Now, Join Rescue, I haven't actually looked into this. I'll put this down in the comments as I discover what this is. It'll be in a pinned comment, similar to the quest video. There is a pinned comment down below where I'll put any corrections. As for challenged, this is where raids that you started will show up, be that if they're still running. And results, this is where raids that you have either ended in terms of timing out or were defeated will show up. So in this case, you see I just randomly started 2 raids to see how all rolls. I was surprised by the fact that they fixed the fact that there were no special attacks, and again, they kind of stumped me. So you can see right now, if you look at, this will also be in the challenged menu, you can check the info and you can see any participants, how much damage they dealt, how many attempts they took, and their main party leader. So I can now claim the reward, and because I only did the contribution, nobody else joined, so I don't get challenge, etc. I get some rainbow crystals here, and melody crystals here. So it should also be noted, if you look at the reward details, you're not going to get all of this stuff from one raid. This is just the stuff you can get for that category. You'll usually only get one type of, or one of these rewards per category. So again, depending on your contribution, that can also change. Now, that's pretty much anything here. Of course, you can filter through all raids. You can filter through difficulty here. You can see the normal ones, etc. we can check on Miracle and Magic raids. And you can also refresh the list similar to your friends list. Now, I'd say we're just gonna go in and... Oh, yeah, of course, now the... We'll just go into a practice raid so I can show you how the CP stuff works. So first and foremost, you'll notice that you have a energy separate for raids. This is CP. That's not... That doesn't stand for what CP usually stands for in the internet. I don't know what it stands for. It's not what you think it is, basically. First and foremost, something else I should mention is that you can only attempt every raid 3 times, which means not that you can only play each raid 3 times, you can only have 3 runs of each raid running at the same time, I'm pretty sure, or it's a daily thing similar to dojos, that might also be the case. I haven't checked myself yet. Again, look in the pinned comment. Now anyways, easy and normal raids will have a minimum consumption of 1 CP, whereas hard raids will have a minimum consumption of 3 CP. And if you want to start a battle, you'll see that you can select an amount of CP used, either 1, 5, or 10, all of them. This will just adjust how quickly the fight goes. So with 1 CP, everything is base level. At 5 CP, everything is slightly accelerated. At 10 CP, everything is accelerated to top speed. Basically, for easy or normal raid, this means that damage overall is quintupled or tenfold. As for hard raids, I think it just comes out to the same math. So it's either base, point, like what, 0.1 or 1.36 times, and then like 3.3 times or something like that. So we'll just go into the practice raid here. I have my team. I'll just keep with this, and we'll start the raid so you can see how this works in battle. Now this is a rage enemy, so things might get a little hairy. But we'll see how this goes. As you can see, this enemy doesn't have a lot of HP. I've only dealt 20k, and there's already a fair chunk missing from their HP. And I'm only auto-skilling, so I'm not particularly efficient with my skill usage right now. And switching songs probably won't be required here as well. I will make a more in-depth combat tutorial in the future. Once I'm done with these basic guides, I'm going to be making more advanced guides for stuff like, again, party building or the battle system in and of itself. So for now, just sit back and enjoy the carnage. I believe this thing has... I think it's like 600,000 HP or 500,000? No, 500,000 is too much, or too little. As you can see, we're wailing away pretty well at this thing without trying too hard. I'm not gonna skip or fast forward through this. It's not to stretch out the video or something, it's simply so you guys can see the rough scale at which raids take place. Again, this is the most base level raid, but still, I think it's something you should know. I think the intelligence raid that I did before raids were patched took like 60 turns or something, with a fairly strong single target damage spec team. So it definitely takes a long time. Like I said in my, I think my original guide, in my first advanced beginner's guide, raids, higher raids other than this one, can take up to 20 minutes, half an hour if you actually try to solo it on your first attempt, or your first run through. Which again was fairly easy because raids were broken. They aren't anymore. That's something I think that many people have to get used to. They even had to make an announcement in-app. They were like, hey, a lot of people were telling us, your raids got really hard recently. Why is that? Like, yeah, we fixed the thing, and at the same time we fixed raids overall, so yeah. I'm rambling again. You'll notice that I'm going off script here, because I don't have one. I'm kind of recording this in a pinch, so... Now, if you look at raids from from an outsider standpoint, or when you first look at the menu, it'll all seem a little complex. But as you can tell from the fact that this guide didn't really have to go in depth on many things at all, I think it's actually much simpler than even Advent battles. Even though this video is almost twice as long as the Advent battle one, but I think raids really aren't that complicated. They seem a lot more complex than they are. Now, it actually managed to take out the Ignite Biggie, which is actually kind of impressive, but she doesn't have the highest HP or defense, so it's fine. So it's 500,000, and there we go. That's the win. 20 turns, like roughly 5 minutes, I think that was. And this will immediately tell, hey, you won, claim your rewards from the results list. And then you can see here the info again, 500,000 damage, 1 attempt. And now you have 7 days to claim the rewards of any finished raids. And I believe a started raid, yeah, has a limit of 5 hours until it has to be won. So as you can see, I'm now getting 1 reward from every category, since I participated in every category. Now I'll go look for a normal raid that I can take part in, simply to show you how to get wiped. No, but really that's just about it for raids. So an overview, just farming place for limit unlock or rarity break materials. The main difference between hard and normal raids is that you can get Giga Crystals from hard raids, and then of course there's Miracle and Magic raids that you need to do to rarity break your 5 stars to 6 stars. And I think that's already about it for this one. Again, I hope you didn't mind that I went off script this time too much. Again, I just simply didn't have enough time to make this video at this point with the script. I hope you can understand, and I'll see you tomorrow when we will talk about the Battle Arena. Challenge Cup will come whenever it opens. Have a good one.